Well, good evening. It's just past 6 o'clock. It's Saturday the 4th of June and I'm joining you live from the heart of Wyke Regis. Now, beacons were lit up across the country on Thursday night at 9:45. And here in Wyke Regis, the beacon were lit on top of All Saints Church Tower, which you can see on the screen now. Other places in Weymouth and Portland were outside the Portland Heights Hotel on the top of Portland and at the Noth Fort in Weymouth. And we had reports from the Portland Beacon that they could see the Wyke Regis beacon clearly from Portland. More than 3,500 beacons were lit up across the world on Thursday evening to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and we will return to that later in the programme. Now, Volunteers Week, led by the National Council for Voluntary Organisations, is taking place this week from the 1st of June through to the 7th of June to celebrate Volunteers Week 2022. Wessex Water has revealed nearly 500 of its employees have taken part in volunteering activities in the last 12 months. We can see some of those on screen. Wessex Water gives its employees one paid Waterfalls volunteering day every year to support a project, charity or community group of their choice. In total, 482 people from the Water and Sewerage Company volunteered in the last 365 days, supporting good causes across Bath, Bristol, Wiltshire, Somerset and Dorset. And in Dorset Healthcare, it is recognising the valuable contribution local volunteers make to its community hospitals and services. During an exceptionally difficult couple of years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, people from all walks of life have given up their time and made a real difference to patients and staff. But many were not able to undertake their normal volunteering roles due to restrictions, which was very hard for them. Now that restrictions have eased, however, lots of the volunteers are returning to their normal roles to give their time, skills and experience to support the NHS Trust. Eileen Waters, 82, who volunteers at Blandford Hospital, her role, she says, is varied and she turns her hand to anything staff ask her to do. She mainly brings cheer to older patients by spending time with them and playing games that evoke happy memories, such as musical bingo. She said, "I started volunteering as I wanted to do something where I could make a difference, where you could see what you've done and feel what you've done. I leave the hospital so thrilled and delighted. It's unbelievable." If you have some spare time, we are currently looking for more volunteers to join our friendly team at the hospital, she says. If you want to find out more about volunteering roles at Dorset Healthcare, if you pop along to their website at www.dorsethealthcare.nhs.uk/join-us-1/volunteers, or just go to their main website. I'm sure if you search for volunteering, you'll find it. Now, staying with volunteers, Dorset Council's Army of Volunteers, the digital champions who we've spoken about before, is growing to meet the growing digital skill needs in the county. 6 new recruits have come on board to join the council's team of digital champions to help even more of the county's residents get online. Research has shown that nearly a third of Dorset's residents don't have the means or the skills to get online and are increasingly being left behind in a world that is becoming more reliant on the internet. The council recruits volunteer digital champions to help those residents through regular face-to-face sessions at libraries across the county. They can also help people over the phone via the council's digital hotline. The digital champions can assist with any digital issue, from online shopping to ordering prescriptions, and with help setting up and using new devices. Since the start of the year, they have held 457 sessions across 32 locations. The volunteers recently received the Dorset Volunteer Hero Certificates in recognition of their efforts. Residents can find out where their nearest digital champion session is by calling the digital hotline 01305 221 048. That's 01305 221 048, and you can get help online via that telephone number as well. Now, if you are planning to build a new property or an extension or a conversion to your home, then it will be important for you to know that there are changes to the building regulations happening shortly. Building regulations make sure that any work done on a property is up to certain standards. From the 15th of June, changes to the nationwide regulations aim to improve the energy efficiency of homes and buildings across the UK. This will help the country's move towards its target of net zero emissions. Now, the changes that are coming in on the 15th of June include ventilation. Changes will help to improve air quality and ensure properties receive the necessary ventilation. There's changes to conservation of fuel and power, where changes will primarily impact the energy efficiency requirements for buildings. There are some new requirements in respect of overheating. The new regulations aim to limit overheating in properties by introducing passive measures such as fitting shutters for shade and glazing design in new houses. And every new property will need now, if they're being built, to have an electrical vehicle charging point as part of the construction. Now, Councillor David Walsh, who's Dorset Council's portfolio holder for planning, said, "We welcome these changes to national building regulations. They will considerably improve the energy efficiency of buildings where we live, work and spend our free time. They are an important step in the UK's journey towards a cleaner, greener built environment." Now, if you want information on those changes, they can be found on the Dorset Council website at www.dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/general-building-control-guidance. So that's www.dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/general-building-control-guidance. Very important if you're having an extension built and you're building it yourself, of course, or any other modifications. Have a look at that. These come in from the 15th of June. Now, figures revealed show that the number of injuries from e-scooters is on the rise in Dorset. Although illegal in most cases, e-scooters have become a popular method of travel in many towns and cities across the UK. They have the potential to reduce pollution and provide a quick and easy mode of transport for those who cannot easily walk or cycle. However, it still remains an offence to use privately owned e-scooters on the public roads, as those who make our road rules say they are dangerous for riders and other road users. The provisional figures released by the Department of Transport show that there were 28 casualties from e-scooter accidents in 2021 recorded by Dorset Police, and that is up from 10 in 2020. However, e-scooters are still only responsible for a small proportion of all traffic accidents, accounting for just 2% of all road casualties in Dorset last year. As part of a planned transport bill announced earlier in May, the government is considering legalising the use of private scooters on roads in the near future, and trials of rental scooters are already underway in 30 areas across the UK. Users themselves were far more likely to be hurt from the collisions than other road users, accounting for 76% of all e-scooter casualties across Britain. Pedestrians made up 16% and cyclists 5%, while car users only suffered 17 slight injuries from e-scooter accidents in 2021. Retailers have reported strong sales of e-scooters recently, as traffic levels have risen after lockdown and people return to the office. Riders might be more likely to share the road with other vehicles and be travelling at peak times on peak routes. Across Great Britain, the number of casualties from e-scooter collisions stood at 1,359 for 2021, nearly triple what it was a year before, when it was only 484. And in 2021, there were 9 fatalities, up just 1 from the year before. Now, the Department of Transport notes that minor casualties may go unreported, so the true number of injuries may actually be much higher. Now, Great Western Railway has marked Her Majesty's 70 years on the throne by including the official Platinum Jubilee emblem on its Queen Elizabeth II train. And you can see the picture there on the screen. The emblem sits proudly on the side of the Intercity Express train 800003, joining the original design displaying Her Majesty's name. 80003 was named by Her Majesty on the 13th of June 2017, as she marked 175 years since Queen Victoria made the first rail journey by a monarch in 1842. The design now includes the striking silver and purple crown emblem, marking yet another historic royal milestone. Now, GWR Head of External Communications Dan Payne said, "We were delighted to name 80003 after Her Majesty back in June 2017, and we know it's one of our most popular intercity express trains on the network. Adding the special Platinum Jubilee emblem is a fitting tribute and the perfect way for Great Western Railway to celebrate Her Majesty's 70 years on the throne. This train was the first of the new GWR Hitachi IETs to be named, with more than 50 Great Westerners since being recognised. They're naming lots of their trains after great people, and we will return to that later in the programme as well. And of course, Alan Turing OBE became the most recent of GWR's celebrated heroes only last week. His name, as well as the updated Trainbow flag design, was added to 80008 to mark the delayed VE75 commemorations, as well as the Pride Month in June. And as I said, we will be coming back to that story later in the programme. Moving on, Bill Silverwright, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance, was delighted to attend an event on Wednesday the 25th of May to thank the charity's volunteers for all their hard work, dedication and support in aid of the charity prior to his retirement on the 21st of June. Bill spent the afternoon expressing his gratitude and talked about how valued a resource the volunteers are in enabling the charity to do what they do. He said, "You are the eyes and ears of the charity within the community. That is what gives us the community feel, because it comes from you, our wonderful volunteers. Some of you have been with us a very long time, even before me," he said. "You played an important part of showing me how volunteers supported the charity in so many ways during my early days in the charity, and for that I am really grateful. Obviously, volunteers come and go depending on the amount of time they have available to gift us. What is great for Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance is that our volunteer numbers do not drop. When volunteers leave, others decide to join. This is terrific, as it shows that we are still relevant and that people will always step forward to help us. Thank you all that you do. Thank you all for all that you do in support of the charity." Now, Bill became the Chief Executive Officer in 2010, and over the past 11.5 years at the helm, his inspiring leadership has seen Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance become one of the most innovative and highly respected air ambulance charities in the country. During his time as Chief Executive, the capabilities of Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance have increased extraordinarily, and the quality and range of clinical care provided to the population of the area has been utterly transformed. This has all been achieved collaboratively with regional health networks and within the clinical governance of the NHS. Bill has given his time, expertise and passion to the development of the service because of his enormous public service ethos and his belief in helping others. Through this, Bill has enabled care to be provided to patients which simply was absent prior to his starting with the service. His achievements are extensive, and his ethos of the charity will only invest public funds if it has patient benefit is a legacy that will leave when he retires next month. He will leave when he retires next month. Bill said, "I am so appreciated that during my time with Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance, I've been given the opportunity to do things my way. That way has been by getting to know people, getting to know their families and making friends. Together we have been on a journey, and one of the most amazing things is to see how the team have developed professionally and as people. I feel very proud to have been part of that." So Bill retires this month. Now, the new Chief Executive of Dorset Somerset Air Ambulance will be formally announced on Tuesday the 21st of June. And of course, you can find out more information about Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance by visiting www.dsairambulance.org.uk. And it's a very important service. It is there for every single person in the community when we get those most urgent of needs for support, because it can get to us very quickly with very skilled doctors and paramedics on board when things are really down and we need their help. Littlemore community residents have had a ribbon cutting ceremony where local MP Richard Drax cut the ribbon after a construction company working at Mercury Road, Mildred Construction, have undertaken several works to improve the grounds around the community centre at Littlemore. The work included installing new soakaway drains and new railway sleepers to shore up the ground and paved area. Previously, the community centre and grounds had got in a very poor state after a local project that was supporting it pulled out. Now, we have several appeals this week from Dorset Police. It's been a busy time for the police in the local area. Firstly, officers investigating a burglary in Weymouth are appealing for witnesses for anyone with information to come forward. At around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday the 28th of May, that's last Saturday, a resident of an address in Randy Road returned home and was unable to access a room as it was being blocked shut by an unknown man. The man subsequently left the property and a search of the area was carried out by officers, but the offender was not located. Next, officers are appealing for anyone who witnessed suspicious activity to come forward following a burglary at a hotel in Weymouth between 6:30 p.m. and 7:45 p.m. on Tuesday the 17th of May. A room at the Russell Hotel on the Esplanade was broken into. A quantity of cash was stolen from a handbag. And finally, that's not fun. We've got another one after this. Also, detectives are appealing for witnesses to come forward after a moped rider sustained a serious leg injury when a pedal cycle was hurled at him in Weymouth. The incident happened at around 6 p.m. on Monday the 30th of May when the victim was riding along Littermore Road travelling from Dorchester Road. After going under the Upwey Railway Bridge, someone threw a pedal cycle at him. The victim, aged 18 years old, sustained a serious injury to his leg. And finally, from Dorset Police this week, officers are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward following alleged criminal damage to vehicles in Weymouth. Between 5:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. on Sunday the 29th of May, it is reported that damage was caused to 6 vehicles that was parked in Park Street. It is reported that the damage was caused to wing mirrors and a window of one of the vehicles was also smashed. Officers attended and 2 men aged 25 from Weymouth and the Dorchester area were arrested on suspicion of criminal damage. They've now been released under investigation while inquiries continue. Now, if you've got any information on any of those incidents, or if you've got any CCTV footage or dashcam footage, anything that you think would be of use to Dorset Police in their investigations, you can contact them direct on the usual number, 101, or if you wish to pass the information on anonymously, of course, you can do that totally anonymously through the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. And finally, in this week's headlines, a free book is to be circulated to 500,000 school children to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The book, which is based on faithfulness, honours the Queen's 70 years of service and is being issued by the Church of England and Thy Kingdom Come, the Archbishop of Canterbury's global prayer movement. The free story, Queen CJ and the Banksy Castle, and you can see the cover there on the screen now. Queen CJ and the Banksy Castle, that's it, is a product of the Cheeky Panda, a children's cartoon series featuring contributions from CBB stars including Gemma Hunt. You can order the free books from the Cheeky Panda's website. So if you haven't got one through your school or whatever and you want a copy of Queen CJ and the Banksy Castle, you can search for the Cheeky Panda's website. It's easy to find. I searched for it earlier. Just search for the Cheeky Panda's website and you can go online there and you can order one of those books free of charge to be sent to you. How wonderful is that? Always nice when we get a free book, especially something special like marking the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now, our first story this week follows on from that Great Western Railway's story about the train naming. As mentioned in the headlines, GWR have also added the name of a famous code breaker, Alan Turing, to one of their trains. His name, as well as the updated Trainbow flag design, was added to train number 80008 to mark the delayed VE75 commemorations, as well as Pride Month in June. Now, we hear now all about that from transport historian Tim Dunn, courtesy of GWR.
When I heard that Great Western Railway was to name one of its trains Alan Turing, I was, it has to be said, a bit surprised. Surprised because initially I couldn't see any link between Turing, GWR, or indeed its trains. So look, naming trains or locomotives has been a tradition on our railways for decades, right back beyond the early days of Stephenson and Brunel. In fact, engines on early mine tramways were often given pet names, long before engine fleets grew so large they had to all be given numbers. There's always been a rationale to naming engines and trains. Whether it was to convey the power of the machine itself, like Western Champion or Western Fusilier, or landmarks along a route like Caerphilly Castle or Witherslack Hall, or even named after railway staff or local heroes, there's always a link back to the railway. And it is an honour, I'd say, to have a train named after you. Sure, over the years, Alan Turing has had many honours bestowed upon him. Order of the British Empire for his work during the war at Bletchley Park, of course, and he became a Fellow of the Royal Society, and posthumously he's received many physical tributes in the form of statues, blue plaques, £50 notes, roads and bridges as well. But the Great Western Railway tribute on this train is a little bit different, because this isn't just about recognising what Alan did during the war, remarkable though that was. This notes something a little bit more personal to him, and I'll tell you what, for many of us too. So why a GWR intercity express train? Well, the late, great Alan Turing was born and lived his early life in Maida Vale, West London, his home just a few hundred yards north of Paddington Station. And in those days of steam-hauled locomotive trains, when locomotives named after castles and kings and halls gloriously stormed out of those platforms, his home would have been just about within earshot of the Great Western Main Line, which of course are modern trains, like the one named Alan Turing, use today. Indeed, Alan's name was put forward by many people right across the GWR region when asked to suggest names for truly great Westerners through time. So look, that's the place. But why is a train a fitting tribute to Alan Turing? Well, the railways have much to thank Alan for. In fact, we all do. Sure, most routes were built before he was born. And by the way, though, one of his grandfathers was actually a railway engineer of great repute. But today's technologically advanced railway infrastructure, which carries millions of people and millions of tons of freight to destinations right across the country and frankly the whole continent, is reliant on computing tech. This railway, which, through its network, allows the trains to weave across the countryside, traverse bridges, speed through tunnels and serve communities of the biggest of cities and the smallest of villages. Well, this incredible network has grown, developed, and today is run and operated on computing. And a big part of that is thanks to the computing legacy of Turing and, of course, his many colleagues and very many collaborators. All of our high-tech trains, e-tickets, info displays, systems and software, that all reaches back to their rich computing legacy. The second reason it's appropriate is, sadly, one he never knew about. This train, the flag, the trainbow, as many of us call it, represents an officials of civil world that is very different to the one that Alan and his contemporaries faced. And I'm so very glad to see the livery being refreshed for this naming. In being criminalised for being homosexual in his lifetime, criminalised for loving someone he loved, and then caught up posthumously in campaigns to decriminalise homosexuality in Britain and pardon those wrongly accused of it, it's fair to say that the name Alan Turing has now become synonymous with the changing of attitudes in British civil society. It was not until, incredibly, 2013 that Turing received a royal pardon for the crime that he was once convicted of. That pardon, of course, brought his story to the fore, and through Turing's law, 65,000 other people were also decriminalised. I like to think sometimes of these trainbows across our railway network, and all the different operators, all the different regions, as flags that fly through the landscape in both busy towns and perhaps the more isolated rural communities, to remind some of us that someone has got our back. And a reminder to all of us that there is kindness out there. But also a useful reminder that rights have been fought for and hard won. So this train not only carries the name of Alan Turing, but now also through the progress rainbow colours of diversity. His legacy touches everyone that sees it and sends that message that people can be who they want to be without fear of persecution and without fear of prejudice. Hey, look, I ain't here to lecture you. Might seem like it. And this isn't a church sermon. It certainly ain't no TED talk, that's for sure. Thanks to people who have gone before us, like Mr. Alan Turing, I think, like this train, we are heading in the right direction. Here's to you, Alan Turing. Here's to you. Cheers.
There we go. Thank you very much, Tim Dunn, for giving us a bit of the background there on the train that's been named after Alan Turing there by GWR. Look out for that as you are travelling around the rail network. Now, our second story this week turns back to Volunteer Week, which we're in the middle of. And it's a chance to think about volunteers and thank volunteers in all sorts of organisations for all the fantastic work that they do. But of course, all our charities and voluntary organisations are always in need of more volunteers. And this week, I'm going to bring you a personal story for an organisation that I'm involved in, the Scouts. And a wonderful success story here in Weymouth and Portland. And because things are going so well, a need for more help. So this is my story for Volunteering Week and appeal for help on behalf of the Scouts of Weymouth and Portland. Hello, I'm Gary Hepburn. I'm Deputy District Commissioner for Scouts in Weymouth and Portland. We're in the middle of National Volunteers Week. Since January 1908, Scouting has provided opportunities for young people. This started in England and is now a worldwide organisation. It all started not far from here when Baden-Powell held his first experimental camp in July 1907 for 21 young people on Brownsea Island. Scouting actively engages and supports young people in their personal development, provides them vital life and interpersonal skills, and empowers them to make a positive contribution to society. Nationally, Scouting's objectives by 2025 are to have 50,000 more young people aged 6 to 18, to have 10,000 more frontline adult volunteers, and 5,000 more young leaders. In Weymouth and Portland, we already have approaching 400 young people and around 130 adults. Some of these adults run Scout sections week by week, and others may just help on an occasional basis, such as once a month. Despite being hit by COVID, Scouting is in a strong position in Weymouth and Portland and is growing rapidly. So much so that demand has now well exceeded capacity. However, there is still a need to grow further and to expand, with new sections called Squirrels for 4 to 6-year-olds just about to open in some groups in Weymouth and Portland, and most of the district's groups already full and having waiting lists. The district would like to open more sections and possibly new groups in areas of Weymouth and Portland not already covered, because there are demands for more young people to join us, and we need more adults to run these sections and to join our great team. So what does it mean to be in Scouts? Well, it can mean being active. We go camping, hiking, swimming, abseiling, cycling and canoeing, but we also have fun, play games, make things, learn more skills and work in teams and take on new challenges. Every week the organisation is run by our amazing adult volunteers, and it gives almost 500,000 4 to 25-year-olds the skills they need for school, college, university, the job interview, the important speech, the tricky challenge and the big dreams. Basically, the skills they need for life. life. Everyone is welcome in Scouts, all genders, races and backgrounds, regardless of physical ability. There's a Scout adventure out there for everyone, and we'll help both our adult helpers and our young people find them. All our activities are run by volunteers, and because we are growing, we just need more of them. Our volunteers might join us because they want to try something new, to make new friends, to spend time with their own children or gain experiences with other young people, to do something good for their community and themselves, to keep their bodies fit and active and their brains active, whether that's by scaling mountains, sharing skills, or just serving tea. Or maybe they were a Scout or a Cub themselves. They've seen how they've benefited and they just want to give something back. Whatever our adults do within Scouting, they will end up making a huge difference to young people's lives, giving them skills for life and learning a whole lot about themselves along the way. You don't need any previous experience with young people, and whether you'd like to help out week after week or whenever you can, Scouting provides the training, learning opportunities and cups of tea every step along the way. If you would be interested in being part of a growing team here in Weymouth and Portland, helping to grow and develop our young people, if you'd like to learn more about the role or just to give it a go, or if you were a Scout or a Cub and would now like to give something back to the organisation, please give me a call. I would love to hear from you. You can contact me on 01305 548 000. Thank you for anything you can do to help us here at Scouting in Weymouth and Portland.
When it comes to volunteering, it truly works both ways. You get out just as much as you put in. Volunteering for Scouts is great for building those career-boosting CV skills. It's good for your health, it's good for your mental well-being, and it's good for your family too. You get to spend more time together having fun. Basically, it's good for you. So if you're thinking about a happier, healthier future, turn that into action and volunteer with us today in a way that's good for you. I can't wait for you to join the team, and if you're already supporting us, then thank you for all you do. Total hero. Good job.
There we go. Thank you for taking the time to watch that. It is a fantastic movement, does a lot to develop young people and to build their confidence skills, and I'm somebody that joined when I'm 7 years old, and I've got a lot to say thank you to Scouts for in building my confidence and helping me achieve the many things that I've achieved over the years. I say if anybody's interested and wants to get in touch, 01305 548 000. And moving on now, going back to the Jubilee, which we've been celebrating the latter part of this week and over this weekend. We've now got a follow-up report for you on the Jubilee celebrations in Wyke Regis, which some of you will have attended. We've cobbled together some video that we took throughout the day. Thank you to Janet for putting it together, and I shot a lot of the video and some bits from Janet as well. And I hope you'll enjoy our compilation of the Jubilee celebrations so far in Wyke Regis.
In her Jubilee message, Her Majesty the Queen thanked everyone who had been involved in convening communities, families and neighbours to mark her Platinum Jubilee. She said, "I know that many happy memories will be created at these festive occasions." In the parish of Wyke Regis, we took this very seriously and had a day of celebration which will certainly provide many happy memories for future times. By 10 o'clock, everything was ready for people to start to arrive. And arrive they did. Inside the church was an exhibition of our memories of the coronation, jubilees, and the changes in Weymouth over the years. After all this, we were getting hungry, and the cream teas went fast. At 2 o'clock, all eyes went to the top of the tower for the teddy bear zippoir. Here he comes! And another. And another. And another. Well done, all you brave teddies who went on the zippoir. Now make way as we prepare for the service of Thanksgiving. As darkness fell, all eyes went up to the tower once more, and the lighting of the beacon. Thank you to everyone who helped and those who came to support us on this memorable day.
Thank you, Janet, and again, thank you to everybody that came on Thursday. It was a really busy day. Some of us on our feet all day, but we had a thoroughly good time. Nobody moaned. Everybody enjoyed everything, and we didn't run out of barbecue, which was the main panic. We just about got to the end of the evening with just 1 or 2 sausages left, so that was a great success. Okay, and now it's time for the national weather forecast, and this weekend we are joined by Annie Shuttleworth from the Met Office.
Hello, welcome to the latest national weather update from the Met Office. The rest of the Jubilee weekend could be threatened by a risk of thunderstorms, especially if you live in southern or central areas. Across the north. On Saturday evening, that risk of heavy showers will increase once again, especially as we head into Sunday morning, staying drier across the north as well, though, with cloud pushing in once again across the eastern coast. So we could see some further quite heavy showers on Saturday night and through Sunday across that southern and central area. There's still some details to be determined on that, so you can keep up to date with the forecast by checking out our latest videos and following us on social media.
Thank you very much, Annie. And the local weather forecast for the week ahead now up on the screen. We can see it's going to be fairly mild this week. Temperatures sort of peaking at 18, 19. But it does look like it's going to be sunny with showers all week. So it looks like it could be a very unsettled week. Maybe the odd thunderstorm, but certainly some downpours of rain there. Certainly Wednesday's looking as if it's going to be quite heavy rain on Wednesday. So good growing weather for the garden, but not very nice if you want to go outside and spend time outside. Traffic and travel this week. There are roadworks planned this week in Longcroft Road, Hardy Avenue, Kirtleton Avenue, Grafton Avenue, Brackendown Avenue, Newtons Road, and on the Chickerell Link Road. On the trains, there are no pre-notified engineering works this weekend or the week ahead affecting services from Weymouth to the major cities. Looking at our what's on, coming up this in the next few weeks, actually, well, starting tomorrow, 5th of June, Henning Wen, the comedian, the German comedian who's often on Have I Got News For You. 9th of June, Back to Bacharach, the music of Burt Bacharach. 10th of June, Housewives on Holiday, a comedy starring the Nolan sisters and others. 11th of June, ABBA stars, ABBA tribute. 13th of June, Testing the Waves, a musical and visual experience. That sounds interesting. 13th to 16th of June. Now this is one that's going to be really good, I'm sure. It's Keeping Up Appearances. Now this is a play over several days by an organisation called Project Play. Now some of you will remember, probably 4 years ago now, they came to Weymouth and did a take on Dad's Army, which our family went to as a group, and it was absolutely fantastic. Now it's the same people doing it. It's Keeping Up Appearances, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now 17th of June, Money for Nothing, music of Dire Straits, and the 18th of June, the Travelling Wilbury Experience. The box office for Weymouth Pavilion is 01305 783 225, and you can also see details of all the shows coming up and book online at weymouthpavilion.com. Going across to the Northfort now, the last day of their Jubilee Corgi Hunt is tomorrow. They have their Royal Memorabilia exhibition running until the 15th of July. 17th of June, they've got Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. That's a theatre production. I think it's in the evening. There's details on their website for that. 23rd of July, their Victorian weekend. And that's about it in our What's On this week. So we're just about at the end of another programme. Don't forget, our Saturday quiz is on at 7:30. The stream goes live at 7:15, and tonight it is a special Platinum Jubilee edition with appropriate royal questions for our round tonight. So that the quiz starts at 7:30. The stream goes live at 7:15 in about 30 minutes time. Yeah, it's 6:45 now, so about 30 minutes time. Just time for me to get a cup of coffee and maybe something to eat, just in time. I am also hoping that we will have the next episode of Clive Gray's Year in Gardening by Friday. If we have, that will run 7 o'clock on Friday evening and be repeated on Sunday. If not, it will certainly be in for the following week. Just to say, tomorrow, for those that attend church services in Wyke Regis, the main service tomorrow at All Saints Church is a different service for the first time. It's called Cafe Church. It's a new arrangement for a family-friendly, child-friendly service from 9:30 tomorrow. It's a non-communion service. It starts with toast and tea and coffee and jam and that sort of stuff, and then there's a very short family-friendly act of worship. So if it's something that people would like to go to church and they're always worried about taking the children because it's an hour-long communion service, then do give Cafe Church a try tomorrow and see if it's something a bit different and something that the children will enjoy and tolerate. The music's going to be different and everything, and we'll see how that goes. Other than that, we will be back here next week at 6 o'clock. If you've got any stories for us, any fundraising activities going on or events going on, or any items of local news, or anything that you want to share with the community in Wyke, do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. We'd love to hear from you. But if not, until then, next week, 6 o'clock on Saturday, have a good week, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the continued Jubilee celebrations, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Good night.